okay? Factoring. If I have something that has perfect squares on it, I know that this is following the rule of a squared minus b squared equals a minus b times a plus b. Oh, is that on the video? Yeah, that's on the screen. Okay, so this is following that same rule. So what times itself gives me 16? 4. What times itself gives me x squared? X. What times itself gives me 81? 9. Notice that it's the exact same thing except for with a plus. Now that's the difference of two squares. We have only a difference of two squares. There's no such thing as a sum of two squares for factoring, okay? So that's the difference of two squares. Difference of two cubes looks something like this. 27x cubed minus 64. These are two things that are cubed, so this is going to follow the rule of a cubed minus b cubed equals a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. So what times itself 3 times gives me 27? It's 3. What times itself 3 times gives me x squared? X. Times itself 3 times gives me 64. 4. This tells me this is squared. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. This tells me multiply the two together. 3x times 4 is 12x. This tells me multiply the last term times itself. 4 times 4 is 16. I will never be able to factor this further. Every once in a while I will be able to factor this further. On this example I cannot. We also have the sum of two cubes, which looks like that. So that's what we would do on that if we have something like that. Now, if it gives me for some reason 4 terms, so I have something that's like 1, 2, 3, what page am I on? 4. If I have something that's like one term, 2 terms, 3 terms, 4 terms, every single time I see that, I automatically think factor by grouping. So I'm going to group these guys together, and I'm going to group these guys together. And then I'm going to ask myself, what can I pull out of these? Well, the only thing that I can pull out of that is a 1. What can I pull out of these? I can pull out an A and a B. So that sure didn't help me. So I might need to reorder them in order to help myself out. So I am gonna reorder them. Am I gonna reorder them? Very interesting. Maybe that doesn't help me. Yes, it does. I am gonna reorder them. So I'm gonna reorder them because that didn't help me. I'm gonna go this guy and this guy. This guy and this guy. Put them in parentheses, first 2 and second 2. This I can factor out an a squared, which gives me a plus 2b. This I can factor out a negative b, which is going to give me 2b plus a. Now notice that these are backwards of each other, but the associative property of addition lets me change the order if I want. Associative property of addition lets me change the order. So I'm going to change those around. Now notice that these are the same. So this says a squared minus b. This says a squared times a plus 2b and negative b times a plus 2b. So another way to write that is a squared minus b times a plus 2b. That's still telling me multiply a squared times both of these, multiply negative b times both of these. So that's how I factor it out when there's 4 of them. Oh, sorry, I got off the screen a little bit. So that's what we're looking at when we're doing these guys.